Hello and welcome, all friends and devotees of yoga and Buddhism. Today is June the 26th, 2019, Wednesday, June the 26th, 2019. I'm just going to proceed with a collection of wisdom that I discovered in a few months ago. Okay, this wisdom is coming from the great Venerable Master Xingyun. Venerable Master Xingyun is the founder of Fo Guangshan. I'm going to read some of this wisdom to you right now. Even if people have no distant concerns, there will certainly be worries close at hand. Not only do we need to look far and high, but we must also prepare for what lies ahead. We should see clearly what the future holds. We should see clearly what the future holds, as well as a way out of trouble. We should leave sufficient room in whatever we do so that there will be space for us to turn around if necessary. Therefore, to be mindful of what lies ahead is an important guideline in life. An important guideline in life. One, I call this the golden keys. Guys, I need you guys to have your pen and paper handy and just try to take as much notes as you possibly can. Be prepared for a rainy day. Be prepared for a rainy day. A Chinese motto goes, one should be prepared before the rain comes and not dig a well after we have become thirsty. If we are prepared for anything, we need not worry. We need to anticipate a day of not having in times of having. Thus, we should always have umbrellas ready in case winds and clouds gather in the sky. We need to store up enough food in the fall so we can survive the winter. Having a flashlight handy by day, we need not worry about darkness at night. While we may not be able to counter natural disasters completely, we can still be prepared in advance to minimize the damage. Therefore, we have to anticipate danger in times of peace. Being prepared for a rainy day is the right attitude towards life. Two, I hope you guys are writing very quickly here. Okay, sometimes we have to wake up to speed. We need speed right now, guys. Just keep moving quickly. Think of getting off a stage when we are still on it. All good things must come to an end. And there is no show which does not close. When a show is finished, its actors must get off stage after the curtain call. After a speech is delivered and its ideas expressed, the speaker must bow and leave. Therefore, when one gets on stage, getting off is inevitable. It is the law of nature. However, some people do not appreciate this truth. It is easy for them to get on, but difficult to leave. High officials who gain power may bring much glory and benefit to everyone associated with them. But how should they conduct themselves once they lose their position and power? We should, therefore, think of the day we must leave while we are still up at the top. We should never be arrogant when we have power and create enemies by staying too long, because very simply, we need to think about getting off stage. We need to think about getting off stage while we are still on it. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Now, Master Xingyun proceeds. He gives us the what I call the golden key, number 3 here. Be mindful of the laws. Be mindful of the lows when we are riding high. Be mindful of the lows when we are riding high. Prosperity, decline, glory, and humiliation are all part of life. These are the stages that we go through during our life. Some people do well at a young age and make a lot of money. They may be very talented, enjoy excellent human relationships, and have every door open for them wherever they go. However, we need to bear in mind that impermanence is the rule of life. Just as the moon waxes and wanes, life goes through birth, old age, sickness, and death. All things in the world cannot escape the cycle of existence, okay, abundance, decay, and extinction. When we are flying high and basking in glory, have we ever thought of what we'll do if we fail and suffer? Thus, we should prepare ourselves well ahead of time. A woolly rabbit has 3 burrows, ants store food for winter, and bees make honey in a timely fashion. How can people not have a sense of imminent danger? Therefore, we need to be mindful of the lows when we are still riding high. Okay? Finally, 4, just keep your pens busy here. Bear in mind setbacks in time of success. Bear in mind setbacks in time of success. The tide rises and falls. Life is smooth as well as difficult. When we face setbacks, we naturally need to understand what leads to success. But when we live in success, what do we do if difficulties suddenly appear? It is said, when we are doing well, we need to prepare an alternative route. Then there will be no fear if good times. There will be no fear in good times. When we are faced with failure, we must find a way out so that we can survive hardships. Therefore, life can be smooth or difficult, but it's only by leaving things behind and following positive conditions that we can find a way out. Okay? Fantastic. It looks like a drill, a good drill dictation exercise. We used to do that in school in those days, right? Class teacher in the elementary school, she'll read stuff and expect us to shorthand. It was not a shorthand class, but she just wanted to see how articulate we students were. And she'll grade us. She'll read stuff from a comprehension, English comprehension piece, and we'll all be trying to write as quickly as possible. So sometimes you have to exercise your brain to be able to write fast. It's necessary, okay? So I'm going to summarize Master Singyung's teaching in this lesson, his instructions here. All in all, in anything we do, we succeed if we are prepared and fail if we are not. When we are aware of what lies ahead, you need to be highlighting all these points. When we are aware of what lies ahead, we will be spared from losing control and being thrown into fear when we face difficult situations. So what do you think this lesson from Master Singyung is telling us? To be prepared in life, right? When you are rich, Joseph in Egypt, biblical Joseph, that was the greatness, that was all the greatness of this great man. Joseph in Egypt was thrown in prison. You remember the story of Joseph in the Bible, right? He was in jail, okay? But he had vision. So he did interpret the dreams for a couple of folks. And although he had told them when they get out of jail, they should remember him, one got out, the other one was beheaded. And he told them ahead of time. The one that got out just forgot about him and then went to the palace. Years along, when the Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, now had a dream, and all the magicians, they couldn't interpret the dream. All the scholars, all the most enlightened people, they couldn't interpret the dream. Then that guy in the palace now remembered Joseph and said, there is one man in the jail I met who told me I was going to come out. He is very brilliant. He can interpret dreams. Then Pharaoh called for him, and then he interpreted the dream. But the point of this is, guys, what Joseph did. He started the first warehouse known in history. Okay, the king of Egypt made him the second in command. He said everything in Egypt once interpreted dreams and told him the 7 years of plenty and the 7 years of famine. When you have, you should put away. You should be thinking of when you're not going to have. Okay, so that king now told him, take the chariots, take everything in it. I give you authority over the whole of Egypt except for my throne. So he became the second in command. And then what was the wisdom here? The wisdom here is that Joseph started putting everything away, storing up. That's the wisdom. So when you have put away in anticipation of the day you don't have, that's the teaching by the Grandmaster Singyun right here. Think ahead, guys. Don't waste. Don't lavish. Think about when you don't have. Don't be wasteful. When you have, always remember. Always remember. When you are rich, always remember the poor. When you are healthy, always remember sickness. All the two sides. In the day, remember the night. In the night, remember the day. And then save. Okay? Put away in anticipation of the difficult day. This is what took Joseph to greatness in the land of Egypt. And this summarizes the teachings of the great master, Singyun. Namo Amitofo.